Welcome to Open Mic.
I was just a funny-looking woman walking on the hard-ass concrete. You were just a man looking round, and somehow our eyes happened to meet. And then you looked backwards, and then my eyes looked up. And then you looked backwards, and then my eyes filled up. A paper cup, you can fill me up. It's not enough to be simple anymore. It's just this big old empty door. He's got his own, forgot my voice. And every single time I text it's a choice. And every single time you ask me to, and every single time I fell in love with you. She's not alone in her day. Oh, now that she's got someone to hold on to. Oh, and she never knew him like she could. Oh, and she never owned him like she should. Oh, well, I didn't know my name, didn't know my heart, didn't know if I could stand. I was just this girl walking around, and there you were, someone else's man. You can fill me up.
Jena Malone has been acting most of her life. Her first starring role came in 1996 in the film Bastard Out of Carolina at the ripe old age of 12. She would also appear in films like Donnie Darko, Stepmom, Life as a House, The Dangerous Lives of Altar Boys, Cold Mountain, The Ballad of Jack and Rose, Pride and Prejudice, Into the Wild, and Sucker Punch. Her latest recurring role is that of Johanna Mason in the Hunger Games films. She is also a talented singer who, with the help of musician Lem J. Ignacio, have formed the group The Shoe. The new album, I'm Okay, comes out in June. We have Lem J. and Jena here to talk about the new tunes.
Now, I read about the initial meeting at the Christmas party, but I was wondering if you both could kind of elaborate and go back and kind of tell me how you two initially got together to make music and how it kind of evolved into this 6 years since.
Well, I guess it started with I kind of developed singing Tourette, which is my nice way of calling. I have this, I guess, musical seed inside of me, and I was just singing all the time, all of it freestyle, all of it just improvisation at the moment, and just freestyling melodies and lyrics all together. And I was living up in Tahoe, and I was making a lot of music just with myself, and it was very strange, kind of bedroom electronics and weird, and, because I don't really know how to, make any music. I mean, in the sense that I wasn't a musician. I wasn't trained to play piano or guitar. I would just pick up an instrument and kind of pretend to play it. And I just was getting kind of frustrated with that because I wasn't a very good musician, and so I ended up building this contraption, which was like this steamer trunk that I put all of my gear in it, and I bought a generator, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to drive down to LA and like play on street corners and just kind of fail. I just wanted to like fail so much that at one point it might make me become a better musician and do it in front of people, because also in a way I'm a performer and I feed off that, and I think everyone feeds off of that. It's easy to kind of pretend to do things in your bedroom, but then once you're standing in front of like real, human beings, you all of a sudden have to kind of like pull it together. And literally the day that I drove down, I was invited to this Christmas party, and my friend was like, oh, you're singing now? Great, like come and play a song. And Lem J had been asked to be one of the musicians on stage that would be backing all these different singers that would come up and sing these sort of acoustic kind of Christmas songs. And she didn't, I thought she kind of forgot about me. It didn't happen until like 1:30 a.m. The bar was closing down, and lucky for me, Lem J was still there. The whole band had left. And I told him that we were going to do Walking in a Winter Wonderland, and we just met then, and I said, do you mind if I do it in mythical Portuguese? And he was kind of like,
what's that?
He didn't really actually even bat an eye. He was like, yeah, sure, let's just go. And I was like, wow, okay. And we did the whole thing in these sort of, I used to sing in these mythical languages, which was just gibberish, which kind of sounded like Portuguese. And he followed me, and we created this beautiful, 7-minute rendition of the gibberish Winter Wonderland, and it was just the most, I went up, he went down, I went down. We were definitely communicating on a level that wasn't just, we had just met, musically. There was already some sort of innate language there. And afterwards, I was just like, hey, like, I built this instrument. Can I come over and let's jam together? And he was like, yeah, sure. And I did, and we ended up writing like 7 songs that night, and we decided to form a band, and in the next 2 months, we basically completed and wrote our first album, which was just a little EP, 6 songs. And then, just kind of started doing shows and a bunch of stuff, and then I got busy, and he got busy, and then we came back together this summer to work on another album, and this is our full length. It's our next one out of the gate.
MJ, tell me a little bit. What was it about Jena that really piqued your interest as far as saying, this gal is the real deal, and I want to work with her?
I didn't know that at first. She described the Christmas party incident, and yeah, at first, when she came over to my house, I probably didn't know the real dealness till we just kept on, she literally, it seemed like she never left my house for, a year, and we were just constantly, making music, and not making music in the traditional sense of the word, but, again, freestyling and jamming, and just making up complete songs, spontaneously, and just recording all of this, and it was, it wasn't like working with a singer or a musician or a songwriter and, making songs like that, but we were kind of just always doing it, we'd be in the car and she'd be driving and I'd have a Casio in the, passenger seat, and she'd be, we'd be singing on a road trip, or we'd, be in a cemetery, or we would be, in a park, or we'd be in my studio, in my garage, and it, you do that over and over and over again. It's not anything, it really, like you said, like, when did I know it was the real deal? It just became a way, I don't know how to say it without sounding corny, but a way of life, or a way of making music with Jena.
Well, now, the video for Dead Rabbit Hopes is definitely going to get a lot of talk. Both of you, tell me about the video, and what was like? Well, Jena, for you, what was like shooting it?
It was really freeing, actually. You know, I did a lot of, this album was really raw for me. It's really about kind of stripping down the layers of, you know, because I think when I freestyle, I tend to take on different characters. And I think for this album, I really wanted to just sing as myself and get kind of really human and just really bare with it. And I remember a couple times we were doing vocals, and I just said, you know, I think I'm just going to take my clothes off right now. And she's like, okay, like, we're really good friends, it doesn't matter, like, and I did a lot of the recording of the vocals just kind of naked and just raw, and it wasn't about being sexual, it was just about being human and being really vulnerable to the moment, and I guess I had conceived of this whole idea that, you know, I really wanted the first video to kind of encapsulate that, and, you know, there's this amazing artist, it's a dear friend of mine, her name's Aaliyah Penner, and she'd been doing a lot of painted nudes where she's a painter, and she would, you know, paint on these women, and it was some of the most beautiful stuff I had ever seen, and I was like, you know, I think we should do a video together. We all just kind of sat down and came up with this idea that it was, you know, sort of nude in flowers on a piano. It was a heartbreaking song about death and celebration, and so we sort of focused on the celebration of that, and it was really freeing, actually. It was really I think at the end of the video we were shooting it, I was just crying because it's just such you know, to see something come so full circle, and you have the seed of an idea, and then it becomes a reality, and it becomes a bigger and more beautiful reality than you could ever imagine. It's a gift, you know?
My beauty was only meant to be seen by the men. A crow beside me, scavenger king. My body, a savage thing. And every corner, and every glade, and every part, never touched, never craved, are now becoming, blooming alive, with lips so pretty, and one with my thighs. I'm hungry for you. Straight through you. I'm dying to get to know you. Was only meant to be seen on death's bed. A crow beside me, scavenger king. My body ravishing. And every corner, and every glade, and every part, never touched, never craved, are now becoming, blooming alive, with lips so pretty, and one with my eyes. I'm hungry for you. I'm chewing straight through you.
case you're just joining us, we're talking to actress Jena Malone and Lem J. Ignacio about their collaboration with the duo The Shoe.
Now, Jena, is there a bit of reluctance, or maybe having your guard up at times when you perform, because there is this somewhat of a stigma that people know you as the actress and you want them to know you as the singer?
No, I don't want them to know me as anything. I just want them to close their eyes and listen. I don't really care about how they get there, or preconceived notions, or, you know, whether they view me as a painter or an actor or a woman or a stranger. You know, all of that stuff I don't really think matters. At the end of the day, if you are moved by something that someone is giving you, you know, whether it be a performance or a song or a painting, then it's about that exchange. It's not about the person anymore, you know. So, I don't know, that doesn't really bother me or you know, motivate me to do anything different in my art. I think I just want to keep creating and you know, doing things that move people.
Is there something that happens, though, when you perform live? Do you see people transform to where they suddenly get it? They suddenly say, oh, you know, this is, like I said earlier, this is the real deal?
I don't know if I've ever seen the aha moment captured in someone's eyes in the middle of a performance, but I mean, I don't know. You can definitely sense fear. I think anyone can smell fear or, you know, resistance. And I think we've played enough, you know, live shows that are not, you know, pretty much 90% freestyle, where we're really putting ourselves out there. You know, I'm falling flat on my face half of the time, and for more than half the time, and then that 20% of just blind, beautiful creation is happening. And I don't know. I mean, I don't really, you know, think about that too much. I feel like after every show we've ever played, people have been nothing but excited and kind of titillated and really felt like they'd seen something they'd never seen before. And that's always kind of, you know, reassuring and awesome.
There's really no, you know, divide in Jena as an actress and knowing if it's the real deal, because she's, you know, it's not like she just decided to do an album or to do, you know, she's been doing it for a very long time, even before she met me, you know, like she said earlier, making music in her bedroom, and then, you know, we've been doing this for 5-6 years, even though this is our first full length, you know, just the fact that we've been, and that she has been, you know, making music for a long time, you know, it's not just this actress's, you know, pop project.
There's nothing wrong with those either. I mean, you know, to each their own. However you get there is beautiful.
But that's definitely not where Jena's coming from.
Right.
As a musician or as a musical artist.
Well, both of you, talk about the songwriting process that you guys go through and how it all comes together for you.
Well, you know, we've been playing together for 6 years, so if it doesn't come from a jam that we're doing in the moment, then it's come from a jam that I've listened to or Lende's listened to. We pull some things together and kind of present these, forgotten jams that we've done, or, you know, there's an idea, there's a melody, there's, you know, we always come at it with something. But, I mean, sometimes, you know, it just all comes 100% from the jam, you know, and it's all there. And we just take every little piece, and it's a song from start to finish, and we don't do anything besides just cut up that, you know, recorded jam. And then
I'm okay on this album, the first track.
It's a complete freestyle.
That's a complete freestyle that we recreated in the studio, but it came from us just jamming out on a road, you know, a kind of a cliff, a road over this tiny cliff by my house, you know, late at night, and we just captured it on one of our iPhones, and, you know, lyrics, melody, chords, everything was pretty verbatim. And like Jena said, other songs just come from an idea. I think they all come from these spontaneous freestyle ideas, whether it's a whole song or just one line or, you know, a 2-line idea. But they always start, you know, the spark always comes from these freestyles or improvisations when Jena and I are just, you know, when we get together and decide to make music together. And that's kind of constantly, really. We have hours of that. kind of that sort of stuff to pull from, whether it was a year ago or, the week before.
Well, the unique thing about the shoe is how the melodies tend to stick around in your head. Call it an earworm or whatever. MJ, talk a little bit about creating, hypnotic tones in this band, because they're pretty consistent throughout, where you really you remember them when you're done listening.
Those were pretty much attached to Jena's lyrics at the time. We came up with the initial spark of the song. All of this kind of happened simultaneously. A lot of what you're hearing, again, from a complete song or just a small idea, but everything kind of happens like
at the same time. You can't really take the lyrics away from the melody, or the music take away from the melody, or I feel like those. We added some overlays, maybe some drums and some bass, and that stuff was more kind of thought out. But all of the piano and vocals kind of happen simultaneously together, so it's kind of just like me and Munjay having a conversation, that we just captured down. But I appreciate you saying that they stick in your heart, man. That's beautiful. We really wanted to, create something this time that was more palatable, but just it's something that a lot of different people could listen to and appreciate. And so I appreciate you saying that.
What do you guys have down the road as far as what do you plan? Do you plan to do a major tour or just kind of keep it low key? I mean, how do you guys plan on going forth?
We're going to do kind of everything in the vein of the shoe. Some, impromptu shows, some untraditional venues. We're going to do, play probably the biggest tour we've ever played in June when the album comes out. And so we're playing in spaces that can receive, freestyle music in a way that is exciting and not just traditional, bars and musical venues. I don't know, there's this, documentary that's being worked on right now, kind of about explaining our freestyle musical friendship. That's going to be pretty rad, and we're just, working on some more music videos and just constantly creating. I don't know. I mean, that's the fun part about it. It's not really this real band. We're just friends that love making things, and now, we actually get to have a place to put them out into the world. And so I think for me, I'm even feeling more inspired about getting back into the studio and just keep creating, just keep playing.
I'm Mr. Douglas. Join us next Tuesday at 1:30 for Open Mic, our weekly program featuring local and not-so-local artists. If you would like to be a guest on Open Mic, send us an email at kgpr@msugf.edu, or you may call us at 268-3739. Thank you for listening and supporting Montana Public Radio, 89.9 FM, KGPR, Great Falls.